My name is Jeremy. I use he, him pronouns, and I identify as gay.
Hi, my name is Taylor. I am pronoun indifferent, so she, they, he all works. I'm asexual. I also identify as demi-romantic, but like potentially pan-romantic. And I am genderqueer, but less concerned about the labels in terms of gender.
All right, my name is Rachel Zaslow. I use they, them pronouns, and I am asexual and aromantic and also non-binary.
Hello, my name is Nell. My pronouns are they, them, and their. My orientation is asexual and aromantic. I've now interviewed 3 asexuals in a row. That's great. And my gender is, I consider myself to be agender. I don't really have one. My presentation tends to shift feminine and masculine all over the place. Today I'm rocking a very good look, if I do say so myself.
I'm Kate, she, her, and I'm queer.
My name's Nicole, she, her pronouns. I am bisexual.
My name is Madison. I use she, her, hers, and I'm a lesbian.
My name is formerly Sarah Flynn, but everyone calls me Sammy. I go by feminine pronouns, even though I think gender's kind of... and I identify as a lesbian.
My family has been very accepting, very supportive. I'm very thankful for that. Although when I did come out, I was in and stayed in a Catholic school all throughout middle school and high school, because I came out when I was 12. And yes, it was interesting to be in a Catholic school where I knew I couldn't really come out except to really close friends. And although because I never came out, I didn't really experience any form of real discrimination, I definitely felt like I had to hide something for a long time. So that portion was interesting. But again, I've had a great support system outside of that. So.
Well, so here's my story. Okay, used to have crushes in kindergarten, 1st grade, and then 2nd grade I was like, oh wait, boys aren't mature. I'm gonna wait until they're mature to have crushes on them again. And then I didn't.
No. So, growing up queer was weird for me. I was kind of like knew I was, but didn't really like come to terms with it till around 6th grade, and then didn't come to terms around to myself till around 7th grade. But I think, and it sounds ugly, but my queer awakening was like at age 6 probably. And it was a Girls Gone Wild commercial on TV. Don't ask me why a 6-year-old found that at night, but that's what I did.
Okay.
There are specific groups that are extraordinarily helpful to LGBT people, people of my identities, trans people, non-binary people, and there are also people that are detrimental. Trans-exclusionary radical feminists, or TERFs, are an example of people who align themselves with the feminist movement but are not helpful to the LGBT community.
Not really. I feel like feminists are like, you're not real, you're a myth. Bisexuals are a myth, but I also feel like everybody's like, bisexuals are a myth. Because like, if I'm in a heterosexual relationship, they're usually like, oh, well, yeah, she's straight. And, like, that, like, it, like, me being in a heterosexual relationship kind of, like, decreases my gayness or whatever. I don't know. I don't even know how to say that. But I don't think they represent us well. If they represent us not well, though. That's that.
The idea of inclusivity in general, and the fact that, no matter what minority is sort of included in whatever, feminist narrative is currently going on, just the fact that, I feel like, in other words, I feel like it's uniting that feminism talks about inclusivity in all forms, and that because feminism is fighting for inclusivity of different minorities, that that sort of bridges the two communities, because obviously the LGBT community contains minorities.
Modern feminism also tends to exclude the opinions of trans women and the struggles that they individually go through, especially the issue of trans women not being fully recognized as women.
I understand that there's so few asexuals in the world, but we do still really need that vocal support and appreciation as much as, women and other women and gender minorities who do want to reclaim sexuality.
When I visited Clark, I was instantly submersed in my people more than I ever really realized before.
The thing was, when I first came here for a tour, it was earlier this year actually, I believe the Open Club here at Clark was originally located in the UC. And when I went on a tour here, I saw the pride flag hanging from the upper balcony of the UC. And that made me feel welcome in some way. I was always looking, whenever I went to tour schools, I was looking for a pride flag somewhere, because I knew that was going to be somewhat inclusive.
Move the open office back to the UC.
I think their dorms could be better. I think we could do better trans sort of dealings in the dorms, having gender-separated living and having that. All that is kind of a debacle.
I feel like there's not like a lot of representation openly of people who are bi. Like, I have friends who are bi, but it's not really like in the LGBT community here. There's a lot of people who are just very leaning one way. I don't know. And I don't know if it's people are like scared to talk about it or what, but I just kind of noticed that.
I think the main thing is that I see myself with a husband in the future, adopting children and having sort of in a sense the traditional family life of course non-traditional in terms of having two dads in a family.
I want to be like a teacher or professor, and I want to be the kind of professor that is there for the queer students that they know that they can confide in and they know that they can trust and that they can go to just, for life advice or just
So you want to be Jen Plant?
I want to be Jen Plant.
I want to sort of change people's definition of love and sort of challenge the traditional ways in which we think of love as inherently romantic or inherently sexual.
I still see myself living communally with a bunch of friends that I love and trust very much, and I can see that as a sustainable thing, through my full adulthood. I can see myself, raising kids with, just a bunch of people that I like a lot, and my queerness will probably play a role in whatever I do when I grow up, because everything I touch is gay.
I want to be a medical examiner, so I don't know that me being open about my sexual orientation would seriously, hurt or help me at all in that situation. I'm just hoping that things go well and that it doesn't get to a point where, people are so disgusted by me not being straight that they're no, don't cut open our dead bodies.
I want to have kids someday, and that's going to be a shit ton of money to have kids. Just because, I'm a woman and then I'm going to be marrying a woman, so...
Yeah, the options are slim.
Yeah, slim, and definitely want my own, and, a teacher salary is not going to help me with that at all.
I want to be a musician, and being an artist in kind of the eye of the public. Your sexuality and orientation and your gender really affects how your career will go. I might want to work in journalism because I love to write and I love current events. Well, I don't love the current events, but
Nobody does.
But I like keeping up with the news. I've always been interested in journalism. When I was little, I tried to run a little newspaper in my school, and it was just me writing down the stuff that had happened recently at recess.
That's so cute.
you throw one of the campus squirrels, you could pick it up and throw it, and you would hit a queer. Like, that's just how it is at Clark.